Lexus of Wesley Chapel has given us the 2025 Lexus NX 250 Premium in red line. This year we have more color options, plus they've added more charging ports, making it the best in class with hybrid options that can get as low as 6 seconds 0 to 60. I'm Anthony from Hawkeye Rides, and I'm going to touch bases on some pros and cons while comparing this against the competition to see if it's worth it. The Premium. This is above the base, so you're going to be adding more features going into the interior, all of which will have a standard L-designed LED daytime runnings with bi-LED headlights, plus LED fog lights. But if you want the triple beam LED headlights, you have to go up into the premium trim in order to get that. You can option an all-wheel drive configuration also, which will lower the MPGs when you're at the base 250 trim. Usually when you wanted to add something like that, I suggest that you go to the 350h, which will unlock a lot more power out of the 2.4 liter 4-cylinder. All NX will have a 4-cylinder that will be housed underneath the hood. We have the 2.5 liter that has 203 horsepower with 184 pound-feet of torque, reaching 60 at 8.2 seconds. The top speed is going to be the same across the board at 124 miles per hour, achieving 26 MPGs for the city, 33 MPGs for the highway. This is the front-wheel drive configuration paired to an 8-speed automatic transmission. Now, the nice thing about the 2.5 liter is it's not only just a naturally aspirated engine. They also throw a hybrid and a PHEV, which gets over 80 MPGs combined. Now the 2.4 liter is going to be in a turbo variant, so it's going to be a little bit quicker, but the fastest goes into the PHEV. 18-inch wheels is standard. That's what we're showcasing. You can go up to a 20-inch wheel on the NX. Matte black will surround the fenders, but not all of it. The lower skirt will also get the matte black with the chrome that will be highlighting the window trims and a touch of it on the side view mirror, which when you fold it in, it looks like an L. So I kind of like the aesthetics that they're giving. And another twist that they do, it's similar to Cadillac. The door handles don't come out. You push a little button inside and it will open the door, giving more of that futuristic vibe. Now going against competition, BMW has refreshed the X1. It's going to be a little bit more powerful than this. MPGs, they don't have a hybrid, so that's going to tick the box on this side. Towing, all of which is going to be at 2,000 pounds for the NX. And if BMW is too sporty, because their suspension is known to not be as butter smooth as a Lexus, you could go to the Mini Countryman, which would give you a huge discount in savings. And it's kind of the same style elements, but yet again, it's not going to be as soft as this McPherson strut front suspension and the double wishbone rear suspension. Lexus just kind of goes that step a little bit further. If you're comparing it against Infiniti, the QX50 or 55, you're going to have a CVT transmission, no hybrid option. And if you're going to a base trim, you're going to spend more money. So not to put money as the value, but the total package that you're getting is going to be better with better MPGs than anybody in its class. Acura is going to have a little bit more of a fun to drive going into the RDX, and it's going to be a lot quicker than this. It's also a turbocharged, but yet again, no hybrid variant. Now, we're not showcasing the hybrid or the PHEV, just to give you some specs. If you're going for just a base NX, you will lose a lot of amenities in the interior, so it is something to consider. The premium and the luxury are basically the sweet spot to the NX because you're getting a vehicle that's just around 45 grand and a lot of features that's captured where you're not going to get the same amenities. Standard LED taillights that form an L, more or less wrapping around the whole rear with the Lexus print. The lower gets glossy black where the exhaust tips should be. I kind of like the styling that they do because they keep it sporty. And when you're comparing it against competition like the Germans or even going against Genesis, you want that sporty vibe, but you don't want to sacrifice on the drive and you don't want to sacrifice with MPGs. That's why you go this route, making it the sweet spot amongst the competition. But which way would you go? Drop a comment and let us know. Standard power liftgate going into 22.7 cubic feet of storage. It's really wet and dirty, so I'm not going to throw out all the interior guts here, so you're going to have to see that. Unfortunately, you do have a cargo net here with the 12-volt charger, bag holders here on the side, LED interior lights. This folds up into a 2-part, so that way it makes it easier for storing. And underneath the floor, you have 3 parts of storage. But unfortunately, there's no levers to fold down the seats at a 40-60 split to max cargo to 46.9 cubic feet. You have to go into the back, fold them down, and it will lay more or less flat to maximize the cargo capacity to the NX. The key fob to the NX. This is the premium, so it's going to have more features than the base. 10-way power seat adjustment for the driver, 8-way power seat adjustment for the passenger, standard heated front seats. The ventilated, because we have the premium, that also adds the memory seats and that pano moonroof, or the moonroof. Going into a kind of tech-driven, futuristic style. I kind of like the way it bulges out. This is a 9.8 inch. Let's fire it up. And here we can option the 14-inch screen. Wireless Apple CarPlay, wireless Android Auto, Sirius XM, AM, FM, streaming, Bluetooth audio. You can also option a 360-degree reverse camera, which you cannot do so on the base trim. Otherwise, standard reverse camera with trajectory that expands out, and you can change the camera layout with an option for a digital rear view mirror. Also get standalone features like a wireless charging pad. You can get this, 25 bucks for your key. I don't know if I would do it. Dual climate control settings. It's kind of like a touchpad that's more or less integrated into the 9.8 inch screen, but you still have physical buttons and knobs. So I do like that they still give you that functionality. And it's a driver focused setup, but it kind of cuts off the driver a little bit because it's trying to be more sporty. So you have 3 different driving modes. You have your eco, sport, and normal driving mode. Leather wrap steering wheel is standard. If you want it heated, that's a option. Multi-function paddle shifts, and the gauge cluster can go through an array of different content for the driver. Going back to a total of 6 USB ports that's found throughout. That is going to be new because they've added 2 more. You have a little storage tray here. You could slide that to have the 2 more USB-C ports with a 12-volt charger, and it's a pretty deep storage pocket. So I like how they utilize space even though we don't have a pass-through. They do a good job cleaning that up. Glossy black around everything, which I don't know what you feel about it, but long-term, it's a little bit of a headache. This opens up as a his and her. So one side for the passenger or driver or vice versa, and it's soft to touch. And the reason why I point out that it's a driver-focused setup is because look at the passenger side. You actually have more access to the charging ports than you do as a driver. Leg space is more than enough for both of the front occupants, and the same thing for headroom. So smaller SUV, you could still tick the box and have that sporty design in the interior. Door panel and dash. I do like the pattern that goes into the dashboard. I'm just not a huge fan of all the gloss black because it makes it feel a little bit less expensive, and I'm in the Lexus. I want it to feel more premium. They do a good job with premium materials where it needs to be. One touch up and down for the windows, and a long storage pocket with the beverage holder carved out, and a sleeve of storage for the driver. For the back seat, this is the opening that you have to fit 2 more with the cup holders and armrest down. 2 more USB-C ports with a 12-volt. Open that one up so you can see it. Air vents in the center, storage behind both of the front seats. The door is going to have the same materials in the back. So thank you for doing that, Lexus. But the storage gets a little bit tight here. You could maybe fit a smaller cell phone, but if you have a cover, I don't think so. Sitting behind me, plenty of leg space and headroom. That's what I like about these smaller SUVs. I could still fit. Sliding into the center, leg space, you're going to share some, but it's a pretty wide vehicle for the most part. But leg and shoulder space isn't that bad. As for headroom, no compromise. So I actually appreciate what Lexus is doing here, because typically with these smaller SUVs, you'll see like a hump here where it's carved out. Look at that. They carve it out for everybody in the back. And when you're sitting on the sides, you can actually fold these back more to recline and enjoy a sporty ride. 2.5 liter inline 4-cylinder with 203 horsepower and 184 pound-feet of torque. No, it's not going to be as fast as that Aston Martin. It's at 8.2 seconds 0 to 60 with a top speed at 124 miles per hour. Let's see what we can get. Braking is good, Mashing on the gas isn't bad, so it actually feels pretty settled. It doesn't feel overly heavy, and that's really why you do somewhat of a performance test, so you could really see what the 250 brings besides 26 mpgs for the city and 33 mpgs for the highway. It's going to take me to some pros and cons, starting off with the pros. You have a smooth ride, you're getting great MPGs, you have upgraded technology. We now have more charging ports. We actually have the most charging ports in class just by adding those 2 USB-C ports that's underneath the wireless charging pad. So I like that they optimize space. But then on the con, it's a driver-focused setup, but the wall is on the driver's side. I don't know what they were thinking with that. The pro is you got the his and her for the center cluster that opens up, so it makes it easy for both driver and passenger. It would be nice if they did a little sleeve or somewhat of a pass-through, because you do start lacking in storage, and that's what typically happens in these smaller SUVs for Lexus. They do a great job giving that performance look, but not really giving you the storage. Sound deadening isn't bad. This is the base model with 18-inch wheels, no upgrades at all. And I like that you can get standalone features, so you don't have to just add packages. Because usually when you get into a premium to luxury vehicle, that's not the case. You have to add a package, which gives you a few things, and it's worth the money typically, but in the same aspect, maybe I just want the wireless charger. So Lexus does a good job with that. Maneuverability, steering is light. It feels smaller than the numbers actually project, and it doesn't feel wide at all. So for that everyday drive, it definitely takes the box going against competition. If you're wanting performance, the nice thing here is they offer you as a hybrid. The competition is not going to offer that. So when you're thinking Infiniti, they have a CVT transmission in the QX50 or 55. Performance numbers, it's nothing going to be wild. You're not really looking for that at this price segment, so it's good pricing. It's actually going to be less with more features than Infiniti. As for Acura, you'll have a 2-liter 4-cylinder turbocharged that's going to have the performance. You're going to also feel that with the drive, but it's a little bit more engaged. This is more set back, so for longer journeys, you're going to be more relaxed here, but you're going to have more fun going into different segments, unless you tick the box to like a 350 F Sport handling package, which gives you that V6, basically dropping your 0 to 60 to nearly 2 seconds quicker. And it's also the fastest because you get 127 mile per hour top speed, opposed to all the other 4-cylinders that's 124 miles per hour. BMW and Mini, both of them are going to be faster even at a base trim, and they will have a ton of features, but here you're going to have more charging ports. It's going to also have more room in the back seat and cargo capacity because they have stretched the X1 and the Countrymen that are longer now, so it's literally the biggest Mini ever. So if you really are looking for a smaller vehicle, this is going to be the one to pick, because you're getting that butter smooth drive, great MPGs, you can still fit a family without sacrificing for a performance drive, but you're getting the style elements. But let me know your thoughts in the comments, and if you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. Check out the next video, membership, live stream, website, TikTok, and Instagram. Leave a comment and a like, and I'd like to thank Lexus of Wesley Chapel for giving us this 2025 Lexus NX 250 Premium for our car review.